In the last class, we have seen that the separable transformation, and using that separable transformation, how the discrete Fourier transform we can calculate. That we have seen theoretically. And depending on discrete Fourier transform, one major characteristics that we have seen is the circular convolution, where we have seen that the circular convolution of two image can be equivalent to the DFTs multiplication of the DFTs of these two images separately, followed by the inverse DFT. So in the last class we have seen those features, and today we are going to check uh, some practical approaches over the DFT. Some practical approaches means if we run or if we use DFT over some image, what are the effect that we are going to face, that we are going to see. I think the MATLAB command window is visible to all of you. Okay, here first we are going to do the discrete Fourier transform DFT over some images. These are the images, just look at that. The first image consists of a dot, it's a square dot in the middle. Second image has three dots, similar dots. Third image has a square dot in the middle but size little bit more. Fourth image similarly but size little bit more. And the same way fifth image and sixth image, we are facing a real-time image in spatial domain. The name of the girl is the Lena. So the Lena image we can see. So over those images, if we use the discrete Fourier transform, what are the effect is going to happen, that we are going to see. Okay, if we do the DFT over the images in the leftmost, if we do the DFT over the images in the leftmost column, and the middle column defines the magnitude response of all the images after DFT, and that magnitude response are shown in a 3D format here in the rightmost column. So what you can see here, that each and every image in the magnitude spectrum in the middle, you can see a brightest spot. For each and every image, just check it. In the middle portion of the magnitude spectrum, you have a brightest spot. That brightest spot defines the magnitude of the image. The brightest spot defines the magnitude of the image. Actually, first, I think you have, I don't know. Actually, in the DFT class, DSP class, did we cover the filter? I don't know. Filter class কিছু হয়নি. So actually, to understand the problem what is happening, first you need to know some basic part of the filter. So first I am covering that part, then I am going to that part. Okay. So in filter, what is happening, basically if we consider a low pass filter, first we will check as a ideal low pass filter. আমি in detail যাচ্ছি না, হ্যাঁ। In an ideal low pass filter, what we can see that it's basically a frequency domain representation where in the x-axis you will get your magnitude, you will get your frequency, and depending on that frequency in the y-axis you will get your magnitude. Okay, if we consider the Fourier transform, so we are calculating h to the power j omega or h to the power k in case of DFT. So that h defines the magnitude as mod of h. So that mod of h will be defined over the y-axis, and x-axis defines the frequency. So if it is happened like that, then that frequency starts from 0 and goes towards the infinity and also the minus infinity in the left side. So what is happening here, if we consider ideal low pass filter, it consists of some frequency range up to a frequency called omega c. That is called the cutoff frequency. That is called the cutoff frequency. Cutoff frequency means up to that, this is called the low pass range, and here the cutoff will happen, and after that this will be the high pass range. Means within that range from omega c to suppose up to range pi, omega c to pi, if we check all the frequencies in this filter will get 0. Okay, and if we consider 0 to omega c, 0 to omega c, all the frequencies that will get, all the range of the frequency will get 1. So what is happening, if we consider the so what is happening if we consider that type of response in your system, and if we run one image through that response, and if we simply multiply that response with the image, what will happen is that the image frequency range which are within that range will be shown, and the frequency range over that range will be 0. Okay, now whenever you are doing the DFT of that image, gives you a response where in the middle, always in the middle you will get the magnitude as this one. In case of filter you are getting, for this image also you will get the magnitude in the middle y-axis, and after that in the x-axis your frequency will start. Okay, so that will be your frequency range, and up to some range you will consider as a low range, and after that range you will consider as a high range. So obviously if we multiply these two equation or these two image, so that low range frequency will be multiplied by 1 and it will remain, and high range frequency will be cancelled out. Okay, so if we use a low pass filter, or if you use a filter that type of operation will happen. And as a result, you can see here that is the magnitude spectrum of the first image. In the middle you can see the bright spot, that is the simply magnitude or the DC component that is defined by mod of some values, and that magnitude spectrum defined as a 3D format here. Here you can see the maximum peak defines your magnitude, and others are the frequencies. So you can see that simply if we don't consider the frequency range which are higher, you can see here that is your, suppose the low frequency range, up to that range you want to display your image, but after that whatever the frequency you are getting, these are all called the high frequency range, because frequency range start from 0, that is the point 0, and it's going towards the 800 something like that. So suppose low frequency range we are considering 0 to 200. Suppose you can consider 0 to 100 also, that depends on the image. So suppose we are considering 0 to 200 as the low frequency range, from 200 to 800 as the high frequency range. As in case of that image we have seen that 0 to omega c we are considering the low frequency range. After omega c, whatever the frequency we are getting called the high frequency range. So what will happen, that type of structure you can generate if you use the DFT. So advantage is that if you can generate that type of DFT, you can understand the frequency spectrum, that is called the frequency spectrum. So you can understand the frequency spectrum of the image, and from that frequency spectrum you can design the filter. The filter that I have considered here, omega c should have some value. That omega c should have some value. So what value should the omega c have? That will be defined, or that you can consider or you can identify if we simply that frequency range you can identify if we consider the DFT of the signal. So this is the DFT of the signal, and from here, from the first image you can see the frequency range you can consider 0 to 200. For the second image, frequency range 200, 0 to 200. For third image, that may be from 0 to 100, something like that. That is okay. For fourth image it is more or less. Fourth image it is more or less. The fifth image, that is your low frequency range, and for the sixth image it is more or less. So in that way you can consider the frequency spectrum for low pass filter, and over that condition you will design your low pass filter, and simply if we multiply that low pass filter with your DFT result, or with your that magnitude part of the filter, you will get your filtered image. As I have told you, V equal to AU. So U will be your that DFT magnitude spectrum, and A will be your filter that you are going to design considering to the magnitude spectrum of the image. And if you multiply this A and U, you will get the value of V that we have seen in the theory classes. So that is going to happen here. Okay, now you can see that for the first case the size of the dot is small, but in the fourth case the size of the dot is bigger. That means what? For the first case the resolution of the image is high. For the fourth case, the resolution of the image is low. Okay, so if we consider a high resolution image, you will get in the frequency spectrum the maximum core, means the magnitude response will be in the maximum size, means the low frequency range will be the maximum if we consider a low resolution image. And overall, if we consider a high resolution image, you can see that the low pass frequency range will be low. So this resolution and frequency is vice versa for time domain or spatial domain and frequency domain. For the first image, yes, for the first image the resolution is high, so you will get the maximum core. Maximum core means in the low frequency range you will get the maximum frequencies. Okay, low resolution means high frequency and high resolution means the low frequency. That is the relation between spatial domain resolution and frequency. Okay, so that is also satisfied from that expressions or that images. So up to that, what I am trying to say is clear or not? If not, ask me, I will explain again. Hmm. 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 It's not certain range. That range is defined by the image, input image that you are choosing. No, 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 nah. The low pass filter that we are going to design depending on your input, means for the first image you can see that that is your low frequency. Okay, so what you are trying to do, that frequency will remain and other frequencies will be zeros. Okay, from the overall image. So what you will do, for the first image, the low pass filter that you will design, you will consider omega c is 200. Okay, so what will happen if we multiply that filter, low pass filter, with the first image, so you will get that frequency response showing here, removing all the other part like that. But for the fourth image you can see the filter that you will design. For that filter you need a omega c value less than 200, suppose 70 or 80 like that. So for that case your filter response will be different, means you have to use different low pass filter. For both images same filter will not work. So depending on the image, the filter that you have to choose. It's not that filter will be always fixed. Okay. Hmm. 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 That means what? আরো যখন স্টেপ বাই স্টেপ যাব, যে যদি ম্যাগনিটিউড যত কম করতে পারবি তোর ফ্রিকোয়েন্সি, তোর ইমেজ রেজলিউশন তত বেশি পাবি। সেটা তুই আরো স্টেপ বাই স্টেপ যখন যাব আরো দেখবি ক্লিয়ার হচ্ছে। ওকে, আপ টু দ্যাট যদি আর কোনো কোশ্চেন থাকে জিজ্ঞাসা করতে পারিস। ওকে, কারো আর কোনো কোশ্চেন নেই তো? ঠিক আছে। So from that image what we can see that if we want to remove the high frequency ranges, you have to design the low pass filter, and vice versa. Means if we want to remove the low frequency ranges, you have to design the high pass filter. Now simply the expression of low pass filter that you have to know to design the filters. Suppose if we consider a ideal low pass filter. Ideal low pass filter expression defines as HUV equal to, that will be 1 if DUV less than equal to D naught. I am explaining. And 0 if DUV greater than D naught. Okay, means what? In ideal low pass filter, that is defined as D naught, means D naught obviously equal to the omega C, and DUV defines any point over that, any frequency range over that x-axis. If DUV, that point, means DUV is greater than D naught. So for that case, value of HUV will be 0. For that point, DUV is less than D naught. For this case, so you will get HUV 1. Okay, that is your HUV. So that is your expression for ideal low pass filter. Keep in mind, in ideal low pass filter, what is happening? A sudden change is happening. At point D0, you are getting 1, and suddenly just D0 at D0 plus, you are getting 0. So a sudden change is happening for an ideal low pass filter. Similarly, if we consider Gaussian filter or the Gaussian low pass filter, the expression for Gaussian low pass filter is HUV, that defines as exponential of minus D square UV by 2 D naught square. And for Butterworth filter, Butterworth low pass filter, the expression is given as HUV, that is equal to 1 by 1 plus DUV by D naught whole to the power n, 2n, where 2n defines the order of the filter. That should have done in your DSP class, the Butterworth filter part, but due to the situations it is not covered. So in Butterworth filter, what is happening? It's a low pass filter, but it's not ideal. In low pass filter, if you consider the ideal low pass filter, it is happening like that. That is your omega C. cutoff frequency. In Butterworth filter, Butterworth low pass filter, what is happening? A sharp change is happening instead of a sudden change. Means you are getting a structure like that. Twin is the order of the filter. Means you should have heard the first order filter, second order filter, third order filter, like that. So n defines the order of the filter. And what will happen if we change the order of the filter, that will also be shown here. So that is your Butterworth filter. Frequency, magnitude. So instead of sudden change, you are getting a sharp change. Okay, and you can see, if we can use an ideal filter, we are using that range 0 to d naught. If we can do that, we can get the low frequency range and we can remove all the high frequency range. But in that case, as the sudden change is not happening, a sharp change is happening, we don't know how many range we will consider. That range we will consider depending on our perspective. Suppose that range, suppose omega s, that is called the stop band range. Means from 0 to omega s, we will choose the frequency as the low pass frequency range. Okay, now the stop band range we don't know. That stop band range you have to choose from the filter. Okay, now that is the difference between the ideal low pass filter and the Butterworth low pass filter. And between that omega c and omega s, our aim always should be to reduce that range, that gap. If we can able to reduce that gap, what will happen? We are going to convert our that Butterworth filter in an ideal mode. But actually, practically, an ideal filter is not possible. Just keep in mind, I'm not explaining that part. That practically ideal filter is not possible. What we can do, that we can try to make a ideal tends to ideal filter. Okay, so to make a tends to ideal filter, what you need to do, simply you need to increase the order of the filter. Means if we have order of the filter n equal to 1, for this case, if we change from 1 to 3, what will happen? You will get a filter like that. And if we n equal to 5, again you will get a filter like that. You will get a filter like that. Means if we increase the order, the gap between omega c and omega s will reduce. But problem is that if we increase the filter order, the filter complexity will also be very high. Means filter complexity high means cost will be very high, and also the maintenance will also be very high. So matter is that for a serious cases means from the cases where you forcefully need very high order filter so that you can filter out the low frequency range very clearly. For that case, you must have to consider the high frequency ranges. In that case, you have to do the high cost. But for some cases where you don't need to consider the high frequency ranges, a ideal look alike filter, in that case you can simply consider any order depending on your choice. Okay, so these are the expression of the low pass filter. Similarly, you can follow the book, you can simply see the expression for high pass filter. So what is happening, or what I am trying to say, that whenever we will design the filter in MATLAB, we will express that equations If we can able to express those equations in the MATLAB, means we are designing our filter. Okay, means what? Here a code is given. You just don't need to understand the code in detail. Just see some part. Here, whenever I am designing ideal low pass filter, what we are doing, simply we are trying to explain the equation. You can see duv square root of u minus p square plus v minus q square. If duv less than equal to d naught, huv equal to 1, otherwise it will be 0. Okay, so for the first case, for ideal filter, that expression we are trying to develop. Similarly, for Gaussian low pass filter, Butterworth low pass filter, what we will do? We will develop our equation to write the code. That is the ideal high pass filter. That is the Butterworth low pass filter. We have developed the equation. You can see HUV equal to 1 by 1 plus DUV plus D naught whole to the power 2n. That is your expression for Butterworth. HUV equal to 1 by 1 plus DUV by D naught whole to the power 2n. Okay, so in that way, first we have designed the filters. After that, what we are doing, we are developing those filters. And if we develop those filters, you can see filters like that. This is your ideal low pass filter. You can see that in the ideal low pass filter, a sudden change is happening. That is that range, up to that range from suppose 0 to 100, that range you are getting 1, and after that range, this is 3D, so don't mismatch by the series range is 0.7 like that. It is a range of 1, means that box is covered, so that is 1, and after that range all you are getting 0. That is a sudden change is happening. Ideal low pass filter. Now in Butterworth filter, you can see the change. Sharp change is happening. From the peak, you are getting the changes. A sharp change is happening in case of Gaussian low pass filter also. Now you can check that only Butterworth filter is dependent on the order of the filter. Means what will happen if we change the order of the filter? What the result will happen to the Butterworth filter structure? You can see that also. So here order of the filter I have considered n as 1. If we change from 1 to 8, suppose any value we can change it. If change 1 to 8, you can see that this is your Butterworth filter. So what is happening? It is going towards the low pass filter, ideal low pass filter. So for the order 1 and for order 8, the change happening you can see. But problem is that already I have told you that complexity will be very high if we change the order or if we increase the order. Okay, so that is happening for Butterworth filter, and for Gaussian low pass filter it is not dependent on order, so no effect will happen over here. And if we see the images after filtering, you can see that in case of ideal low pass filter, you are getting a complete binary image. For this case, for this part you are getting 1. For this part you are getting exactly 1 as a circle. Other than this part, you are getting a complete 0. So that is the reason you are getting binary image. Okay, but those cases you will get a blur image. The reason is that whenever you are considering that type of filter, a sharp change is happening. So in that portion where the change is happening, you can see in that portion the you can say the intensity is reducing gradually. Intensity is reducing gradually, not like that here you have 1 and next intensity point will be 0. It's not like that. Intensity reducing gradually means in the boundary the intensity reducing gradually. So in the boundary what you will get? You will get a blur portion in the boundary. For that case also the reducing of the intensity in the boundary portion is more abrupt, so you will get more blur in the boundary portions. Means what? You know that high frequency range basically defines by the boundary images, as we need to display the boundary more prominently. The boundary image is considered as the high frequency range. Okay, so whenever you will consider a high pass filter, all the boundary portions will be blurred. Okay, clear? Okay, so in the whenever you are using low pass filter, you are getting the boundary portions of all images as a blurred image. So overall, if you see after using a low pass filter, you will get a blurred image. Similarly, for high pass filter, obviously the opposite will happen. You can say the opposite will happen, means the high frequency range or all you are getting 1, the low frequency range, that low frequency range you are getting 0. Same thing is happening for Butterworth filter and Gaussian high pass filter also, but matter is that as the changes is happening in the boundary portion abruptly, or you can see the linearly, so that due to that change the boundary you are getting blur. Okay, so that is the effect happening over the low pass filters and high pass filters. So now if we use that type of filter over an image, what is going to happen, that you can see now, or I can show you now. For that case, already you did in your theory classes that you have a image, suppose noisy image as the input image. What you will do first to remove the noise, first you will use DFT, or you will do the DFT over that image. If you do the DFT, you will get the image in the frequency domain, that noisy image obviously in spatial domain. So if you do the DFT, if you will get the image in the frequency domain, suppose as FUV. After that frequency, after getting that image, what you will do, depending on that image, you will use your, or you will design your filter. That filter will be defined as HUV. That filter basically the filter of impulse responses. Filters impulse responses. So that filtered impulse responses will be designed depending on that result FUV. Now what you will do, simply you will multiply FUV and HUV. As a result, you will get GUV. That is also a result in a frequency domain. That result you will get in the frequency domain. So basically GUV is your FUV multiplication HUV. So that GUV is the filtered image in the frequency domain. So what you have to do after that, simply you have to use the inverse DFT. So if you use the inverse DFT, that frequency domain GUV will be converted to G, suppose XY, means the spatial domain image. Spatial domain filtered image, that you will get. So that is the process to remove the noises from any images. The noise means, for some cases you need to remove the low frequencies, then the noise will be considered as the low frequencies. For some cases you need to remove the high frequencies, in that cases the noise would be considered as the high frequencies. So depending on that, you have to design the low pass filter or high pass filter. Or some cases in a specific range you need to remove the frequencies, in that cases you can consider the band pass filter or band reject filter, like that. Okay, so that is the basic procedure to consider, or to remove the noises from one image. And in that case, whatever the images you are using, the FXY, that is the input image, FUV, GUV, HUV and GXY, all are the of same size. Keep in mind, all are of same size. Size should not be changed. Okay, if the size changes, then operation will not happen, because that operation or that will be considered a pixel by pixel operation. For x, one value of x, for different value of y, you will get the u and v depending on only that point. So the operation is going to happen pixel by pixel. So you have to keep in mind that the size must be the same for each and every image shown here. Okay, so if we see the example, what is happening, that you can see here. Suppose that Lena image we are considering. See, first what we have done, we have considered an image from our data set, and we did the DFT over that image. Okay, we did the DFT over that image, and we have considered the ideal low pass filter. Keep in mind, we have considered the ideal low pass filter, and depending on that ideal low pass filter, the result we are getting like that. Okay, now what you can see, that the frequency range, depending on our given parameters, whatever the parameters we have considered, that is defines the distance d naught. 50 defines the distance d naught, that is basically the radius from the center, radius of the filter. Okay, so that radius defines the d naught, that radius is the 50 pixel. If we change the radius from 50 to 20, you will see that radius is reducing, and whenever you are reducing the radius, the image that you are getting is more blur. Means for the first cases, whatever the frequency you are considering, for the second cases, the frequency you are considering the less. That's why you are getting the more blurred portion. Okay, so what is happening? You can see, if you zoom some portion of both image, you can see that, just check it carefully, you can see that in that portion you are getting some oscillation. Oscillation means your repetition part. You can see it is not here. In the input image it is not here, but in the output image you are getting some oscillations. Basically in the boundaries where the filters or the high frequency filters are removed, in that boundary portion you can see that a oscillation layer is showing. You can check it. Can you see those part? So that oscillation here, oscillations are happening here if we use the ideal low pass filter. That oscillation basically known as the ringing artifact. That oscillations are basically known as the ringing artifact. Okay, that ringing artifact, that is actually what I'll say, you should have done the filtering part in DSP, but it does not happen due to the some situation. So if we do the DFT class or filter class in DSP, you could have seen that for low pass filter, if we use basically the ideal, for that cases in the boundary portion you will get some oscillations like that. Never you will get ideal. Whenever you will get the consider the ideal low pass filter, you will get an oscillation like that. You will not get a sharp change as it is happening here. You will not get a sharp change like that. You will get oscillations in the boundary portions. That oscillations is called the Gibbs phenomenon. That oscillation is called the Gibbs phenomenon. That is one problem. This oscillation is also the noise. It should not be there. Okay, so that oscillations are called the ringing artifact, and the technique is known as the Gibbs phenomenon. So what we need to do, we cannot use ideal low pass filter over one image. Instead of that, if we use some Gaussian filter or Butterworth filter, then that oscillation will not happen. You can check it here. Instead of ideal low pass filter, simply if you use Gaussian low pass filter, for that case also consider suppose 30 for the same image. See, the range I considered 30, so the high frequency range considered like that. You can see the black portions are removed, So it is considered that portions are the high frequency range. If we consider less, the gap means that the radius, if we consider instead of 30, if we consider 20, so more high frequencies or the more frequencies will be removed. That depends on you, how much frequency you want to remove. Okay. Now we can check here. Whenever you are using the Gaussian filter, you are getting the blurred image. I have told you the blurred image that you are getting due to the as you are removing some pixels, high frequency pixels from the boundary. So boundary, you are getting the blurred image. Okay, so we can see that here the no oscillations is happening, means here you are not getting any ringing artifacts. That is the reason we should not use the low pass filter. Instead of that, we can use the Gaussian filter, or you can use the Butterworth filter. If we use the Butterworth filter, same thing will happen, but here you can control the order of the filter. Keep in mind. That is the Butterworth low pass filter. First defines 30 defines the value of D naught, and suppose that is the order of the filter, means n equal to 2, means order of the filter is 2. For second order filter, for the same image, we are getting that type of structure. Okay, now if we change the order of the filter from 2 to 8, suppose, for the same image, you can see that whenever you are increasing the order of the filter, the D0 portions are removing, means the frequency, low frequencies, we are considering here the less amount, considering to the previous portion, and also the image that you are getting is more blur considering to the previous image. So that is happening over the image if we consider the low pass filter. Okay, so effect of low pass filter is clear to all of you, or I will explain again. Hmm. তার জন্য রিংগিংটা আসে, কারণ না, সাডেন চেঞ্জ তখন থাকছে না। না, তার কারণ হচ্ছে বিকজ দ্য রিজন ইজ দ্যাট if we consider a full structure of filter like that, the full structure of filter will be like that. That is, the dash part defines the ideal, and that defines the practical. Suppose Butterworth. Okay, for that case, this portion and this portion defines the attenuation. These two portion defines the attenuation. That is your omega c, obviously cutoff range. That is your 1. That is defined by alpha. That is defined by beta. This alpha and beta defines the attenuation. Attenuation means, I am telling you, attenuation means whenever you are defining the filters, if there is any oscillations, that oscillations will be only considered or will be allowed up to that range. That range value is defined as 1 by root 2, means from 1 to 1 minus 1 by root 2. That range up to that range you can consider the oscillations, and after that range generally you will get the oscillations. That oscillations will not be considered, means after that range that oscillations will not be considered, so that oscillations will be removed. Okay, so that is the total filter structure if you consider a Butterworth filter where you can manipulate the oscillations. So you are not getting oscillations over the image. That is the reason. Now, because whenever you are designing the practical filter, you have to mention the value of alpha, beta, omega c, okay, and omega p, that is some value that will be here, that is suppose omega p, that is omega s, suppose some range here you have omega p, so that range you have to mention. Omega p means up to that you will consider, after that you will not consider, and between omega p to omega s, that range will be some transition band that you have to decide whether you will consider or not. That type of parameter will come whenever you will design a filter. Okay, whenever I will explain how to design a filter in detail, then you will see there that type of parameter we need to consider. Okay, so so in that case just keep in mind that for ideal low pass filter, you will get a change, you will get a ringing artifacts, that is called the big Gibbs phenomenon. But if you use the Butterworth or some Gaussian filter, low pass filter, you will not get that type of artifacts. Okay, now instead of low pass filter, if we use the high pass filter, instead of low pass filter, if we do the high pass filter, what will happen? Same image we are considering, you can see that this is the high pass filter. We are considering the range 50, consider a little bit less range, suppose 30, so you will understand it more clearly. That for high pass filter you can see for image for the low pass filter and that image for the high pass filter. What is happening here? The low frequency ranges are removed and the high frequency ranges, that means only the borders, whatever the borders you are getting, that are defined as the high frequency ranges that you are getting. Okay, so only that pixels are here, other pixels are removed if you use the high pass filter. Is that clear what is happening here? In the low pass filter, what is happening? The high frequency ranges are removing. High frequencies means the frequencies that we are getting in the boundary portions of the image. Okay, so just keep in mind the boundary portions of an image defines the high frequency ranges, and other portion except the boundary portions are defined by the low frequency ranges, low frequencies of the image. Okay, so whenever you will use the low pass filter, that low frequency ranges will remain and the boundaries high frequency ranges will be removed, as we have seen for the low pass filter. But here you are using the high pass filter. So in the high pass filter, what is happening? Simply opposite. The boundary pixels which are the high frequency ranges remains and the other low frequency, all the low frequency ranges are removing. So as a result, you can see that will happen over the input image if all the frequencies are removed, keeping the boundary images or keeping the boundary pixels So obviously you are going to get that type of structure. Okay. Okay. So now it is clear. If we use the high pass filter and if we use the low pass filter, what are the changes is going to happen over the image? Okay. So from here we can get a idea that for some images, if we want to get the boundaries of some images, then first you can consider a high pass filter, then some other operations. If you consider the high pass filter, the boundary images or the boundary pixels will be more prominent to you, keeping all simply removing all the other pixels. So I can give you one example that have you ever seen the vessels, human vessel structure? I don't know whether I do have or not. Just wait, I can show you. Suppose you are going to do that. You have a eye image, that is your eye image, eye retinal image. That is basically the black portion of your eye. The red defines the black portion of your total eye. Okay. Now in that image, what you are trying to do, you are trying to extract all the vessels you have of that image. So that is the final result. After operation some steps, I'm not going in detail to that, just I'm trying to say, if we need to do that part, so obviously first you need to do the filtering. Filtering means what? First simply you will remove the low frequency ranges and you will keep the high frequency ranges, so that the boundary portions of the images, the boundary portions of each vessels are more prominent. If we can do that, then what will happen? After the operations, whatever the operation you will do, that will be more easier to segment out. Clear or not? Okay. ওটাতে এখন যাস না, এখন ওটাতে করার জন্য ওর জন্য যে টেকনিক দরকার সেই টেকনিকগুলো আমি এখন তোদের ডিসপ্লে এক্সপ্লেন করিনি, সো ইউ ক্যান নট আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড বিকজ ইউ হ্যাভ টু আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড ফার্স্ট দ্য টেকনিক না। সো ওখানে যাস না, জাস্ট কনসিডার দ্য ইমেজ এ and I'm trying to get the image D. So one part that must be there, the part is called the filtering. Okay, there what you are doing, for this case you will keep the high frequency ranges and you will remove the low frequency ranges. So here initially you will use a high pass filter. Okay, then other step you will have high pass filter. After using high pass filter, you need to do the histogram, you need to do the some thresholding, multi-level thresholding part, that are defined part, but initially you need to use the high pass filter. That is the one step of overall that technique. Is that clear? Okay, so that is the high pass না 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 তোরা জাস্ট এই ইমেজগুলো কনসিডার করিস না, কারণ এখন এই কনসিডার করলে তোরা গুলিয়ে ফেলবি ব্যাপারগুলো, ঠিক আছে? এখানে যে ব্যাপারগুলো আছে সেগুলো তোদের আগে আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড করতে হবে। সো আমি বলবো এখন এগুলো কনসিডার করিস না, কারণ ক্লেহা, তোরা ক্লেহা তো জানিস না যে হোয়াট ইজ কন্ট্রাস্ট লিমিটেড অ্যাডাপটিভ হিস্টোগ্রাম। তো এগুলো তোরা বুঝতে পারবি না এখন। জাস্ট আমি বোঝাতে চাইছি, কনসিডার দ্য ফার্স্ট ইমেজ। ওকে, the image A. In that image, your aim is to get D. So obviously, to get D, that is defines only the vessel structure of the first image. Obviously, what you have to do? You have to do something like that, so that vessel structure are more prominent, keeping other part reducing. So what you will do? Simply, you will first use the high pass filter, so that all the vessel structures are enhancing and other part remaining, the other part will be reducing. After that, other operations will happen. Okay. So that is, we are using the ideal low pass filter, ideal high pass filter. So in spite of ideal high pass filter, you can use other filter also. That is called the Gaussian high pass filter. In the Gaussian high pass filter also, you can get that type of structure. Okay, that is for 30. If we consider 10, so we'll get that type of structure. Okay, so in that way you can use your filter. Where you need to high pass filter, where you need to use the low pass filter or band pass or band reject filter, that you have to decide by considering the image. Okay, if we want to simply segment out the boundary portion of the image, here you will use the high pass filter. If you want to remove the boundary portion of the image, then you have to use the low pass filter here, like that. Clear? Okay, so that is the practical expression of DFT, why the DFT is very much important and why we need the DFT. Now I think little bit clear to all of you. No. See, whenever you will design the filter, first you must consider the gray level, because whenever you are considering the RGB level, the intensity variation is very high, right? So whenever you will get the RGB image, first you will convert that RGB image into gray level. You can see it, all the RGB image is converted to gray here. Okay, you have to convert it into gray level, otherwise operation will be more complicated. It does not mean that operation will not happen. It will be more complicated. The code will also be more complicated, so time will require more. Okay, that is the reason we need to consider gray level.